All right, and welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here, along with Double Check Dale, representing. First of all, what's the blue thing in your pocket? Is that a flashlight?
Well, it's a flashlight, so I can do a good pre-trip when it's dark, so I can look around, man. Be prepared. Rule number one of safety: be prepared.
I'm so going out after this show and watching you do a pre-trip, sir. Right after this show, me and you, I'm gonna walk right behind you.
You do that. Get
Great.
your little clipboard and your little checklist.
Tear this dude up.
I'll learn a little bit out there today.
Who will?
You will.
Okay. Challenge accepted, folks.
that.
Challenge accepted. I like it. I like a safety challenge.
I want to get a camera crew out there.
I'm so excited about this. It's me and you are going at it today. You know what? We started out as friends, but today it will be something different by the end of the show. Okay, couple things. Number one, why would I be carrying the purple coffee cup today and bringing it on the show? What possible reason?
TCU, baby. TCU.
I was asking Dale. Thank you from the producer section.
I'm excited.
Now your list of enemies is growing longer. Hey, I'll bet it has to do with TCU, the Horned Frogs.
All right, that's this coming Monday, right?
Correct.
What time? What time's the show? 7 or 8? Is it 7 or 8? You're not sure. No one's sure. But I'm telling you, does it matter? We're watching.
Probably going to be watching it.
Probably going to be watching the national championship out there. Look, what do I think the numbers are going to look like if I were to give a solid prediction?
Give a solid prediction so I can bring it in Tuesday and say, hey, Dave, you were right.
Okay, I'm going to say, in all honesty, I'm thinking that I'm rooting for this team, but I'm thinking they're going to get smashed.
You know, a lot of people said that about Michigan.
A lot of people did, and something happened, something changed, something went crazy.
Okay. I don't know why you want to fight with me today. We're not going to get smashed by Georgia.
Oof. Okay.
Joe McCarthy, quarterback of Michigan, said...
Oh, I thought you were talking about the senator that tried to get all the votes.
Tried to get elected and it didn't work so well.
the Speaker of the House. Okay, I'm over the game. We've got plenty to talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the House of Representatives.
Okay.
How is it that the Republican Party can't get their stuff straight and get a Speaker of the House appointed? Congress, you understand, will screech to a halt without a Speaker. Y'all get that, right?
Yeah, I get that.
No, House can't run. No committees can go. No appointments can be made. Nothing can be turned. The second in line to the President of the United States? What's going on here, folks?
I believe that'd be third in line to the President of the United States. Just saying.
And I'm going to say right off the bat, the most powerful person in Washington.
He's right up there, whoever it is.
No, the Speaker is the most powerful person in Washington, without question. Now, in the world, it's the President. But in Washington, it's the Speaker. And I'm just telling you, because of what they do and the responsibilities, not only and their succession in line to number one, but really the President's job is Commander-in-Chief. Right?
Yes,
right? I mean, that's his job.
That's his job.
Influence and lawmaking, that's got to be the Speaker. I mean, decide where the money goes? I mean, let's think about this for a minute, folks.
Yeah, let's put it in perspective.
Let's put it in perspective. And by the way, the United States spends a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of money.
And it's your money.
Make no mistake about whose money it is.
But really, if we get down to it and we get down to this right off the bat, I want to make sure everybody understands. This is stupid, all right, on the part of the Republican Party. This is, I'm just going to go right out. This is grandstanding, and this is, can I say asinine without being, can that be said without being a bad word?
Yes.
I believe it is. I believe it is ridiculous.
FCC safe.
Huh?
FCC regulation safe.
It is an okay word to use?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, that's right.
SEC. I thought that was the conference that they played in.
Yeah.
FCC.
FCC. Thank you.
And they've got us tuned in right now. They're going, oh, watching that BCB live.
Everybody's
the
tuned
safest
in to BCB Live this morning and every day here to find out a little bit more about safety. But I just want to say, seriously, how stupid, and I say that because I just want you to know, having been a member of the Young Republicans and having gone a long time in this party, and I normally don't talk about party lines, but seriously, are we just idiots? I mean, we haven't made this a big of a mistake in over 100 years.
Okay, enlighten those that do not know, like myself, exactly what happened. What's the mistake?
Oh, okay. So the majority you do remember that Nancy Pelosi was the Speaker of the House, and that's because the Democrats held the majority in held the majority in the House of Representatives.
Right.
Well, now the Republicans at midterms gained the majority in the House of Representatives. You understand?
Okay.
So they determine, or by vote, a majority vote, which is usually along party lines, by majority vote, you determine who's going to be the Speaker of the House or be the leader of the House. That is determined by majority vote. Well, and that's by 51. That's by 50% plus one, right? 218, I believe, is the number. And you can't fall short. Okay, you need every one of them at this point. You can't let any of them go because it's that close. 4 or 5 guys stood and said, nay, on the Republican Party. So now we don't have a speaker. This is something that doesn't happen in 100 years. Okay, I mean, this is just ridiculous. And
agreed.
Why?
political grandstanding.
It is political It's stupid. They ought to be. And by the way, we'll move on. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll tell you what. We have a very great guest on today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a few-minute break, or not that long.
Not 2 minutes.
60 seconds?
Yeah, let's take 60 seconds.
Let's take 60 seconds, watch something, come right back, and we'll have Amanda in here, and we will go over the interview with Amanda right after this.
I want to thank you for being on BCB Live.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you, Andy. Have a good one, buddy. Thank you for joining BCB Live. I want to thank each and every one. Hey, thank you for taking time to join BCB Live.
I want to thank you for coming on and shedding light.
Thank you so much. Loved having you on here. Woo! Great job, Clara. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, and this is Drive Safe Dave back with Amanda. It's Schuer, right? Did I get that right?
Schuer, shoe on your foot, or
yeah, Schuer. Yeah, it looks like a German name, so
it is. It is.
Yeah, it looks like Schuer. So I think I had that right. Okay, you are the Director of Employee Engagement at Jedco Delivery. Is that correct?
That is correct. Can I give you my score prediction?
Yes.
Okay, you're not gonna like it though.
I know.
Georgia 27, TCU 24.
Wow, that's a lot closer than most. I think
that at least it's close.
No, I like that, Amanda. Yeah, that's not bad. You want mine, Amanda? Right now, I'm gonna go 47 Georgia, and I'm gonna go 23 TCU. That's not how I want it to turn out. That's not how I want it to turn out. That's just what my prediction is. Now, I'll be rooting Does that make sense? I'll be rooting over there, waiting for the fumbles, waiting for the interceptions, waiting for the mistakes on special teams, so that the other team can come back and just make me a fool and make a better score. So let me ask you a question.
47, that's like a super unique football score, but we'll go with it.
It is my super unique. I think it's going to be one of those times when it just is super unique. I think there are going to be field goals and kick touchdowns, and I think it's just going to be mixed around. So that's my weird number. By the way, I felt like it was necessary to do a prime number on my score prediction.
Prime numbers. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in school with math, but I'm with you. Okay.
Okay, Amanda, I want to ask you a question. Here it is. This is my number. First of all, I want to tout some of your accomplishments because I think they're important. And these may not be big to you, but these are some of the things that I find very important. Number one, you were a finalist for Women in Trucking's Most Influential Woman of the Year in 2021.
Yes.
I think that's pretty awesome. You serve on an A-Tree Advisory Committee.
Yes.
And you received your TMC Silver Spark Plug in March of 2022.
Yes.
You also are part of the lead ATA 2023 class roster.
Correct.
Wow. And not only that, what I do like is that you're also a fourth generation trucking industry veteran. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's hear your pedigree in the trucking industry and who among you from which you came was in this industry.
So I brought show and tell because my dad just gave this to me last week. So this is a patch from my grandfather's trucking company. So my great-grandfather. Let me get it right. Great-grandfather. So I am fourth generation, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my uncle, and then me. So I am fourth generation. The family story is that my great-grandfather owned a trucking company. And then my grandfather actually opened a Mac dealership out in Pennsylvania. And then my dad is a dentist. So, whatever. And then I fell into it actually when I started back in trucking, which is now going on my 17th year.
Wow. I didn't even realize you were much older than 17 just by the way. Yes.
I appreciate that. So this patch is actually, my dad told me, from the 1950s. Which this is now in the last week has just become this symbol to me of my family and the industry and why I'm involved in it. It means that much to me.
Wow, I think that's great. By the way, and I'm just going to let you know, Amanda, back then, truck drivers in those trucks in the 50s, their arms were like this big around because those steering wheels were hard to turn.
Yeah.
There wasn't power steering. And power brakes and all the things that you think of. It just was a little bit harder back then. I am amazed that they were able to do the things that they did back then. Well, congratulations on that. And 16 years in the industry. So tell me, before we go any further.
Sure.
What is an employee engagement director? What is it?
My favorite. This is my most asked question.
Because I thought the paycheck was the employee engagement.
Amen. That's when I hear about it. If it's not right, if the paycheck's wrong, then I come into play. No, it's not all about pay. And honestly, I think to brag on Jetco a little bit, I think in the industry I'm starting to see the engagement title, but I'm starting to see it at big trucking companies, right? And so I think a shout out to Jetco, and my boss Kyle for giving me the opportunity to really explore this position. It's a new position at Jetco, and I'm almost a year in. And in the year, I think, we were just talking at breakfast this morning, how many different places this position has gone. And so just like safety is critical to the culture at Jetco and is, interwoven through every department, that is engagement in a nutshell. And so I get to work with every single department in the company and really explore, what keeps our employees happy, Why do our employees leave for other companies? What are training and development things that we can do internally to really grow? And I think one of the cool things that we've done is it's not just office employees, but it's also for drivers. So when we talk about, career paths for drivers, a lot of times in the office, we don't think about those. So, this morning I got an email from a driver saying, hey, I heard there might be an office position open. And so, me thinking about opening those positions to the office, or two drivers, 4 office positions, just opening it up and talking about our culture and why we're involved. So the engagement title, like I said, it's becoming a thing now. And so I feel very, cutting edge and just really lucky to be a part of it.
And I get that. How do you fit into the job of being the engagement director? I mean, for you, right? I mean, obviously, if I was a truck driver, I'd have to be pretty good at driving a truck, which I am. But how do you fit into the job? Because I think sometimes it's important to fit the right person in the right job, right? So,
Sure.
what is it about you that makes you the great director of employee engagement?
So in my almost 17 years in trucking, the only 2 things I haven't done is driven legally around parking lots, but anyway, not over the road, right? And then wrenched, and I have done some preventive maintenance inspections too. But so those are the only 2 roles in trucking companies that I haven't held. So just prior to Jetco, I was basically running a very small trucking company, and so I think like where I fit in is because I've done most every role at a company, including dispatching, including road breakdown, including HR and recruiting and all of that stuff. I'm able to put myself in the shoes of most of our employees and not necessarily say like, you're doing it wrong or anything like that, but just have you thought about, XYZ and kind of try to bring out the best in everyone, if that makes sense. So performance coaching kind of, and just because I've been through a lot of different scenarios, in trucking, in my experience, high volume driver recruiting, which let me tell you, as we know, driver recruiting is tough. I survived that, and now that's changed, how I view driver recruiting a lot on a daily basis. But yeah, I think because of my varied experience, I think I'm a good fit for engagement because I get to go in a lot of different places, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, and I probably would guess that you're a pretty good listener too to the people in which you try to get engaged, right? I mean, in order to find things that are holding them back, barring them from being just all in. We go to our job, we work our job, but each of us finds some sense of self-worth in our role in whatever we do in society. I truly believe that. I find that if you have a job and you do it well, it's better for you, right? And I think 2 of those go hand in hand. Not only are you helping them love their job more but you're also helping them do a better job for the company, right? I mean, they like fold on top of one another, 100%. Right?
Engaged employees are safe employees. Engaged employees are happy and productive employees. 100%.
Dude, what are some of the rewards you get from being the engagement officer or the director over there? Tell me. I mean, obviously, I want to know. I want to know what you really get out of it, because there's got to be some great stuff that most of us don't get to do.
A giant cookie. Like, I'm trying to think of something that's like a tangible reward. No, so I don't want to be corny and cliche, but I think that because I love the trucking industry, I think for me, the mentoring and teaching comes naturally. And so in my role, I'm a people person, right? I mean, obviously you've guessed that in like the 5 minutes we've been talking. So when I'm able to teach and train and coach, that for me is truly satisfying. I mean, so when I started in this industry, I was a 23-year-old female that knew very little about the industry. And I fell in love with it. And like I said, through my career, it's been so amazing to me. And so for me as an engagement director, like to be able to give that back to our employees and to find them the right roles that bring out their talents, I mean, that genuinely is rewarding to me. And that's not lip service. Promise.
I believe you, Hunter. You got me engaged, Amanda. You got me.
Oh, my boss.
Okay, so and some of the things that you spoke of, and I think it's very important that some of the things that you mentioned, and I want to jump on some of these. Number one, and I said that you are a part of the LEAD ATA 2023 class roster. First of all, I want you to explain what it is and why it's important to you.
Yeah, so LEAD ATA is a leadership program through the American Trucking Association. And so I just started in October at MC&E. My class was announced. And so we're in a 1-year leadership program that is really intensive and I'm really excited about. But basically, we learn kind of the inner workings of the American Trucking Association, learn about the regulatory process. We get media relations training. We get to talk about, why we love the industry so much and just really kind of help us figure out in our careers where our path in trucking, I guess, could go. And so it's a really great program. I think this year's class is the biggest class. And then also we have over 40% female in this year's class, which I'm excited about just because I think too, since I joined the industry, I'm seeing a lot of change and diversity in our ranks, which is awesome. And so I'm really excited about that as well. So, yeah.
Also, what does your role, and here's another one because there's so much to talk about with what you do. What does your role involve at TMC and are there any other females on the board of directors?
So I'm going to give you a quiz in like the acronym soup of what I do. So TMC is actually part of the American Trucking Association. So TMC is the Technology and Maintenance Council. So we're a sub-council of the ATA. And so I actually got involved with TMC way back in the day when I was working at a Freightliner dealer and we were trying to create a diesel tech competition. So I started going to TMC and just really, again, fell in love with the people. I spent 4 years selling parts to kind of the people who attend TMC, got really active in that group. And so I am the only female on the board of directors, and I'm the only female officer. And so I'm the chairman of study groups there. And so my responsibility is to oversee all of the study group chairmen. So our study groups are basically technical content areas. And in TMC, our goal usually is to create recommended practices for the industry and kind of the maintenance and engineering field. So really the shop technicians, the shop managers, how our equipment is spec'd, how our equipment is built, those kinds of things. So that is a subject that isn't totally in my daily wheelhouse, but is absolutely probably my biggest passion in the industry. So
do you have so you talk about this and I think it's awesome because the TMC is, to me, wouldn't normally be something you would associate with females. I mean, I don't mean that. No, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Sure.
I just think that when you say car keys, you have a mental image in your mind, right? It's just a mental image. And when you say diesel mechanic, you have a mental image in your mind, and it typically, and I know this sounds sexist, but you have an image of a guy over a big diesel engine, working on it, right? I mean, and I think it's awesome that you're busting those ideas and those mental images apart when you're the person. Not only when we're talking about this stuff, it's women talking about this stuff, women involved in this stuff, and really. That's kind of where I'm trying to get to in all of this, is because that's what we're doing here today, is we're discussing women in the industry and how we're going to break these mental images.
Yes. Yeah. So when I started in TMC, the organization in its history, just under 100 years, it's in 1939 it was founded. It's had one female chairman, Peggy Fisher, awesome. I would like to be the second chair. And to your point, I think it's a continual, what am I looking for? Just women not being afraid of asking questions and learning more and taking over some responsibility in the industry. And like, that being said, most of what I've learned in the industry, quite honestly, has been from male mentors. So, I think there's like a balance, right? And I think, though, that I will say that, again, the diversity from when I started in the industry 17 years ago to now has changed so much. And that's not just women, that's minorities. Just the diversity in general of our industry is really changing. And like, that's cool. Like that's cool. Even the image, what you said of a diesel mechanic, like what you have in your head is not really what today's technician is. And so like getting the younger generation to buy into trucking careers, whether that's driving or technicians or working in the office, like we as an industry have to make trucking jobs and careers more appealing, because I go to career fairs and I'm standing next to the doctors and the lawyers and the nurses, and no disrespect to them, but like nobody comes up to Amanda who's talking about trucking, right? And so like we have a responsibility to fix that and change that.
I think you're on the right path, because I truly believe that talent and intellect and abilities, I think they come from everywhere.
100%.
And I think if we are going to want this industry to not only succeed, but to be the very best industry, which I think it has the opportunity to be, I think it's going to take all of those people. And I don't care from whence it came. We need to find it. And I do like the idea, and that's the reason you're on here today, to talk about women in the industry and what they're doing to make it different. Do you mentor now at all? And do you believe in mentorship when it comes to women or anyone in this industry?
Sure, 100%. Like no question in my mind would I be where I am today without the mentors who have guided me. And so any opportunity that I have or get to mentor young women, not even young women, women in general in the industry, I will take that on. So when I was nominated for the most influential woman for women in trucking, I got an email from a lady who said, "Hey, Amanda, would you be open to having coffee with me at Women in Trucking?" And her name's Carrie, and we're now good friends. She approached me like that, and I was like, wow, that kind of just putting yourself out there. Like I think that's what I probably most encourage women in the industry to do is just have these conversations, like network and meet people and have a mentor who absolutely will tell it to you like it is. And I think the more of us who kind of been in the industry for a while and are willing to give back, I just think that that's beneficial, for everyone. It is mentoring and engagement are like, they go hand in hand, right? So yeah, it's definitely in my wheelhouse for sure.
I got something for you. First of all, I want you to tell Carrie I believe her to be very brave.
I do too.
To be able to do that, to be able to just put yourself out there and say, "Hey, look, do you mind if I ask you some questions?" I think there's a wow moment for you, right?
I literally have goosebumps right now. And you know what? She just had a career change and she landed and she's just in a great spot. And so I hope she's watching. I don't know if she is, but if not, I'll tell her. But yeah, we talk. Now this has been a year and I don't know, 4 months that we've carried on the conversation. And like you said, she put herself out there. So I
think truly each of us has an opportunity to make themselves vulnerable, to make themselves better.
Yes.
Rarely do we. I mean, and you're talking to an old truck driver. I think it's important that we all find ways to be vulnerable in order to better ourselves. And I think if we do what?
It's hard to do. It's hard to make yourself vulnerable. 100%.
Oh
100%.
yeah. The only person I'm trying not to be too vulnerable to my kids.
Yeah.
When do you consider? And here I'm gonna got one last question for you.
Okay.
Why do you consider yourself the cheerleader for all women entering into the industry?
Well, I don't. That's a little too over the top. I'm not like the cheerleader for women in the industry by any means, but
you should.
Like I said, well, thank you. But like what we've been talking about, I mean, none of this is like secret sauce or made up stuff. It's just I just genuinely care about the trucking industry. And again, I just have passion for the industry in general. And so women getting involved in the industry, because it's been so good to me and my career, again, it is nothing but my desire to give that back and to see other women advance, because eventually I'm not going to be here, and like there's going to be women who are going to follow me in my footsteps. And my big goal is always find my replacement and keep it going, because it's been so good to me.
I think that's great. I appreciate you coming out. If I have an opportunity, I want to bring you back, because I want to talk about what compelled you to join and get involved in the ATA and the other trucking organizations to find pathway to that, because I think that's an important conversation to have outside
100%.
of just women in trucking. So I want to do that. I mean, we have the ATA on, we have members of that, but I think it's important to also find people that get involved, because I think each of us in this industry have to get involved with our trucking associations on a local level, on a state level, and on a national level, in order to better ourselves, this industry, across the country, because we do have a difficult fight on our hands to be the very best. I mean, we do. I mean, and to better our image. And Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today. A true pleasure to not only meet you for the first time, but also to visit with you. I do ask all my guests before they leave to state their name, who they're with, and that you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Can you do that for me?
Okay, I'll try. Hi, I'm Amanda Schuer, Director of Employee Engagement at Jetco Delivery, and you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
That's how you say it. That's how you say it.
Yes.
That's how you say it. Thanks, Amanda.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. That's Amanda Schuer, and she is a great interviewee. Just let you know that. All right, we'll be back in just a second with safety.
That happens, the service that trucking company that the next driver receives is bad.
Energy problems that we're having and not releasing it, and over in Russia and the restrictions of fuel and our international trade, I see that compounding it and making it really difficult, because I guarantee you, when it gets cold and the distillates are starting to get running at a higher premium, diesel's going to go up. I want to thank you for being on BCB Live.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Andy. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for joining BCB Live. I want to thank each and every one. Hey, thank you for taking time to join BCB Live.
I want to thank you for coming on and shedding light.
Thank you so much. Loved having you on here. Woo! Great job, Clara. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, you know me, I'm just a grumpy guy. Hey, Drive Safe Dave back here on BCB Live. I've got Double Check Dale, who's bringing in a very important topic. Does this have anything to do with U-turns?
We're going to talk about U-turns. How do you feel about them, Dave?
I don't think they're ideal in a truck. I just, look, I get it. Sometimes you got to turn around, all right? I get it. But you better be smart about it. U-turns don't do well in a truck. Flipping it is just not ideal, no matter where you are, however you do it. Do the intersections, go around the block, do whatever it is you can. U-turns in intersections, U-turns, and don't ever do a U-turn on a highway. Ever.
And there's a reason for that. It takes about 15 to 30 seconds for an 18-wheeler to execute a U-turn, and that will block the highway, while they're doing that. If a car's traveling 65 miles an hour, he'll go almost a quarter of a mile in that time, and so he may not see you and may not get stopped, in time an accident. And U-turn accidents where trucks or cars run into U-turning trucks are one of the most fatal accidents out there. So what he said first, listen to. Don't do the U-turn. It's pretty much universally frowned upon by most companies. Most of them have policies in place that just say, hey, no U-turns. Go up to the next corner, make a left turn, and you get to go where you need to go.
All right, video. I'm going to say we're too close.
I'm going to say you're right.
There's not much needs to be said here. We all know how important it is to create space, and you're not doing it here.
Yeah, I mean, the speed's a little, we're in a 70-mile-an-hour zone. Truck's going 50, and he's going, what more can I do? What more can you do? You can back off a little bit.
You can
more.
go 55.
Yeah, create that space.
All right, next video.
It's dark. We're too close.
And raining.
Yeah. Just a lot of things playing against us right now.
Yeah.
You got to give yourself that advantage. Got to create that.
Too close.
Slow down.
Too close. Too close.
But as we watch, we do see the driver did take corrective action. There's, about 2 seconds of braking to try creating that space. Maybe brake a little longer. Get more space, please.
Some more.
What we've done here is the driver took the coaching, and is paying
Is this
attention.
truck just come all the way over? Is this truck? Okay, so it's in the far left lane. There it goes into that lane, and then it goes directly over. So we get to see what it looks like when an 18-wheeler cuts over multiple lanes and doesn't pay attention, right? I mean, this is just not the thing to do, guys and gals. This is not it.
Yep.
And we get to witness the whole thing from right here.
Yeah, and part of the thing that's good about this, though, is the driver that we're getting to witness it from has the adequate following distance. That he has the space that he needs. That if that car has to stomp on his brake, and the car does have to slow down for this truck that just does something stupid. And so, great job by the driver having the space there. Bad job by the driver coming over 3 lanes. Come on, we're professionals out there. Let's drive that way.
All right, and here we just got a bunch of people up front.
Yeah, I think, Cameron, sometimes, technology gets locked in on the wrong place, but it's still too close. And that's the thing, that even if you don't have technology, you have to be trained, and that's a beautiful thing about having in-cab coaching and the training, is you start getting used to getting retrained to what the correct following distance looks like. So, if your technology isn't dead on or gets turned off for whatever reason, you still know what too close looks like.
Absolutely. All right, there you go. Slow down, be careful, and don't do U-turns, guys.
Oh, please don't.
It's just not the right thing to do. All right, everybody, have a great, wonderful, and safe day. This is BCB Live.
The safest station in the nation.
We'll see you tomorrow.